G'day fellas and welcome to the patch overview for Age of Empires 4. This is the brand new patch. It's just come out, the very first one we've got for the new expansion. We're expecting massive changes to balance here, hopefully some buffs for the Byzantines, some nerfs for those top level civs. Let's dive in and find out what we get. The festive season is in the air in Age of Empires 4 with today's minor patch. Join in the fun with our upcoming Tons of Toys seasonal event, chill out in the seasonal winter biome, and bring the heat to your opponent with the updates to the new civilizations introduced in our recent expansion. Changes introduced today include stability fixes for campaign and multiplayer, additional fixes to improve server latency, meant to pair with improvements made in recent server maintenances, adjustments to several maps, several corrections to localization, and balance changes focused around the Japanese and Byzantines, as well as the variant civilizations, plus bug fixes and further balance improvements. Now, normally what I would do is I would go through each one of these, and then finally we would get to the balance changes. We're going to switch it up today. We're going straight to the balance changes. I need to see what they're doing because I know my Byzantines are going to get a massive buff here. We're going to go up to 50% win rate with this balance patch. So let's click this little button over here and let's dive into it. So we're going to start off. Let's do balance and bug fixes first. Here we go. All right. So number one, trader production time increased from 25 to 30 seconds. Okay, so they're nerfing trade by a little bit here. This isn't a big deal because you can just put down a market, but it does kind of reduce the scaling of trade now. Instead of one market and you've got it's slightly slower. This is fine. I think this is fine. Fix an issue where relics could be duplicated using transport ships. Good to see. Walls no longer generate gap fillers in the space between the wall and individual trees. Walls will continue to generate gap fillers against dense forests. All right. Fixed an issue where gates could be built overlapping enemy walls, allowing units to pass through. Now that doesn't sound like a bug, that sounds like a feature. Fix some buildings with upgrades having the wrong appearance in Fog of War after being destroyed, and fixed a crash that would occur when issuing or cancelling a lot of commands at once. Siege updates for all civs. Trebuchet. Counterweight Trebuchet attack speed improved from 12.625 to 11.375. So think of this as every second it fires. So here it's every 12.6 seconds. Now it's 11.3 seconds. So nice little reduction there. Mongols traction treb also reduced from 9.6 to 8.6. Culverin ranged armor reduced from 20 to 10. Springled ranged armor reduced from 20 to 10. I'm loving this. This is actually going to be really good, and this is so important because what this does is this reduces the effectiveness of siege being the only counter to siege. And we see that quite a lot where, someone builds up a whole big massive mangonels and springleds, and the only way to deal with them, it's with siege. And now here, there's another way for those Holy Roman Empire variant mains out there. I see you dragons. I see you order players. It's Bodkin Bolts. Bodkin Bolts coming online in this patch. Say good day to me. That's for sure. All right, let's move on. Civilization-specific changes. Abbasid Dynasty. House of Wisdom. Big one. Corrected an issue where traders would not spawn when using Trade Wing to go to the feudal age. Boom. All right, here we go. Byzantines, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. These are the changes we've been waiting for. Here we go. Here we go. Get ready. It's going to be a massive list. I'm ready. Starting stone increased from 50 to 100. Boom. I'll take it. What else have we got? Imperial Hippodrome Landmark. Starting Triumph supply points reduced. Reduced from 30 to 10. Triumph ability duration What the fuck? What? They're nerfing the Byzantines, dude. They're like, nah, 40% win rate? That's too high. That's way too high. We got to bring that down in line with... What? Greek file projectiles technology no longer applies to non-trebuchet. Well, that's a good upgrade. That's a good bug fix. That's fine. Cataphracts. Health reduced. Oh, God. Numari technology. Reduce the amount of damage. Oh, they're so funny. They're taking the piss. They got to be taking the piss. Oh, that's so funny. Charging units will no longer be stopped if they charge. Hey, at least we got 50 stuff. Oh my God, this is gonna be a troll, right? This is April. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Corrected and... I can't. Are you fucking serious? You see 40% win rate and you're like, you know what we need to do? We need to nerf Hippodrome. They're going Hippodrome too often. We need to bring that in line with the Grand Winery, the worst landmark in the game. Yeah, oh, we got to bring that back, boy. We got to align these. Oh my god, that's hilarious. That is so funny. Corrected an issue where resources per minute would not appear on Byzantine religious buildings with relics garrison. Yep. Fixed an issue where the Byzantines trader was generating more. Oh yeah, no, that's a good bug to fix. Yeah, that's the one. The one thing the Byzantines have got going for them. Make sure you fix that. It is now 20% like the description states. I mean, to be fair, it was, I think, like 33%. Fixed an issue where the Byzantine military production modifier from System was incorrectly applying to traders, and the cheat smorgasbord now grants olive oil to Byzantine players. And now we move on to the French. Okay, so the Byzantines currently have a win rate sitting just over 40%. It is the lowest of all civilizations, or at least it used to be. I'm not sure. There might be some, like, standouts where in Conqueror 3 French has a lower win rate than the Byzantines, something like that. But you know, or not Conqueror 3, but maybe Conqueror 3, who knows. The point is, this civilization is undertuned at the moment significantly. Compared to other civilizations, it feels incredibly slow. Now, granted, if you can get to the mid to late game, you know, that point where you've got 120 villages and you're kind of late castle age and you got all your farms set up and you're spamming out and 35 production buildings, yeah, it feels great. But it's about getting there. And that's the hard part, because this civilization just feels very complicated, but in saying that, also just very weak. Very weak is probably the best. So we do see a slight shift in starting stone. Now, this is going to have ramifications. Okay, so from 50 to 100 stone. So what's the ramifications going to be? You're probably just going to see players go for 2 TC faster. That's all it's going to be. It's not going to be people making more systems. It's just going to be a faster second town center now. So, I mean, I'll take it, sure, but it feels so underwhelming. So realistically, okay, let's look at Hippodrome. Starting Triumph supply points reduced from 30 to 10. Now, to be fair, that was already pretty high, right? 30 supply points. It meant that you could have 45 seconds of just healing in the early game, which was nice. You could dive town centers with it. You could fight against spearmen with it. It was good. It gave you a little bit of power in the early game. But they've also reduced the duration from 1.5 seconds to 1 second per supply point. That's a massive nerf. That is a huge nerf, dude. They increased the maximum number of Triumph points slightly, but they didn't increase the regen rate of them. They reduced the duration by 33%. Like, that's ridiculous. I'm not worried about this. I'm worried about this, man. Byzantines have got 2 terrible landmarks now. Excuse me. I've just woken up. I'm a bit tired. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever made an elite cataphract. Ever. I've never gotten to that stage of the game. I've always lost before that stage of the game. So that's never happened. This is obviously got some impact in team games. Cataphracts are pretty damn good. But I will note the Imperial Guard from the Juicy Legacy is better than the Cataphract in team games. Numari technology, they're also reducing the trample damage from 25% down to 15%. Sure. I mean, I never got to use my theory. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. Rest in peace to the Byzantines. I thought when this patch dropped, I was going to be like, yep, now it's time to play the Byzantines. It's not time to play the Byzantines. It's time to mourn them. This is sad. This is really sad. Rest in peace, Byzantines. French. Guildhall landmark stone generation rate reduced by 50%. That's a good change. I like this change. At the moment, the way the Guildhall works, it doubles your resources every 20 seconds, I think it is. So you start with 20, then 40, then 80, 160. Keeps going up. But stone is particularly powerful. Excuse me. Because there's no other way to get it in the late game at all. You used to have the option to pick it up from traders. You don't have that option anymore. They've kind of nerfed it from every single civilization, the ability to have infinite stone. And so this is just another way that they do that. This has got big changes for the late game. You know, Beastie did that build. It was quite a while ago, but he did a build where basically his plan all along was to just go for Imperial Age and build a wonder. This is going to be slower. This is going to be, you know, 50%, twice as slow now. All right, next up, Japanese. Big changes. What do we got for them? Surely it's going to be... Actually, I would suspect it's probably just a couple of minor tweaks. Actually, I reckon the Japanese have probably been nerfed a little bit. Just because if you got a 50% win rate and you just came out, there's a good chance you probably got a much higher win rate when people work out what you're doing. All right. Koka Township Landmark, Shinobi. When using the Shunshin ability to teleport, it is no longer possible for the Shinobi to teleport to the center of the map. That was a bug, okay. The Shunshin ability can now be used to teleport on top of stone walls. Targeting a stone wall directly no longer teleports the unit to the other side of the wall. Okay. Cura Storehouse Landmark. Garrison slots reduced from 8 to 4. This is a great change. Really good. Kind of discourages 2TC with the Cura Storehouse and then just, oh, all my villages are safe. You know, that sort of idea. Because you had 8 in here, 7 in the secondary TC was 15, and then 15 in the main towns, and 30 villages that were safe. Just like at a basic level. So it was quite a lot. So this is a nice little change. Farm spawn frequency reduced from every 45 seconds to every 50 seconds. I think this is an absolutely fine change. I don't think that you're really going to notice this. Obviously, there's a tangible benefit in that, you know, it's a 5-second delay. It just means that the Japanese is going to have to be on sheep for a little bit longer. And the reality is that Japan, quite often, if you get 12 sheep, you're not even going to eat those sheep. They will stay under your TC because it's not your fastest gathering food source. You move to berries quite soon. Once you've got Tawara, once you've got Takazuki up, it's straight over to berries for you. I mean, obviously you'll notice it off the last farm, because if we count, there's 12 farms, right? So 12 times 5, you're talking about 60 seconds of difference in that last farm. But to be honest, this is a minor nerf. Like, when you compare that to the Byzantine nerf, dude, I would take this every single day. I'm happy with that. Floating gate. Oh no, they're coming for my boy. Floating gate. Yorishiro no longer spawns on the ground and cannot be dropped. If a Shinto priest holding a Yorishiro dies, the Yorishiro is destroyed. Upon completion of the floating gate, they're like fully changing the landmark. Okay. Upon completion of the floating gate, a Shinto priest holding a Yorishiro is instantly trained. All future Yorishiro... Wait, so you only get one? You don't get two? So they have destroyed the floating gate. Okay. All future Yorishiro are held by a Shinto priest when they are trained. The floating gate now has a rally point. Setting the rally point to a valid building will allow a trained Shinto priest to deposit Yorishiro automatically. It is possible to rally point to multiple buildings to queue Yorishiro placements by subsequent Shinto priests. That's cool, though. After depositing a Yorishiro, the Shinto priest remains available to use as a regular unit. So it's like a complete redesign of the Yorishiro, of the floating gate. That's cool. I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. I loved the way that it worked before, but probably because it was overpowered. And, you know, we like overpowered things, don't we? Makes us feel strong. A progress bar above the floating gate is now visible to indicate when the next Shinto priest will be trained. Buildings containing a deposited Yorishiro will now also display a floating golden ink scroll icon above them. I'm assuming that is something like the consecration that Joan puts above buildings. I'm assuming. A maximum of 4 Yorishiro can exist at one time per player. When you own 4 Yorishiro, the floating gate will pause production of new Shinto priests. I don't like that at all. If a building or Shinto priest with a Yorishiro is destroyed, the floating gate will resume production of Shinto priests. The Shinto priest production time has been reduced from 3 minutes to 2 minutes. So they're kind of buffing it in the short term, but ruining it in the long term. Place Yorishiro tooltip has been improved. Okay, so let's just talk about the floating gate landmark change, because this is quite big. So you've gone from a landmark that gave you 2 Yorishiro immediately when you aged up, and every 4 minutes after you got a Yorishiro. And you could put them wherever you like. You could start off, chuck them. We saw people put them in the town center straight away. We saw people put them in military buildings straight away. We saw people put them straight into forges. But now, it's different. A maximum of 4 Yorishiro can exist at one time per player, which means your Yorishiro are a lot more important than before. Before, they were almost expendable. If you wanted to throw it in a stable and have crazy production, you could. That was absolutely fine, because in 4 minutes time you were going to get another one anyway. So it was just seen as a 4-minute trade-off. You know, 4 minutes, I'm not getting this bonus elsewhere. Now, of course, there are, you know, if that Yorishiro had instead been placed in a forge, then you're losing that bonus for the rest of the game. But the point I'm trying to make here is that now if you put a Yorishiro in a town center, or if you put a Yorishiro in a production building, you cap how many Yorishiro you can put in your forges. And to me, this is tough, right? Because I want to put my Yorishiro, like let's say I want to put them in the town centers. I start off and I put 2 Yorishiro in my town centers. Now I've only got 2 Yorishiro I can put in my forges. And there's going to be a point where I don't want Yorishiro in my town centers anymore because I'm not training villagers anymore. They lose their value there. Now, unless I delete the town centers, and you can't because one of them's a landmark TC, you're not getting that back. And I don't like that. I feel like I'm losing control. I don't know if I like that. It's going to take time to get used to this. But I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Japanese players just look to put all 4 of their Yorishiros in forges ASAP. And that's it. And just call it 300 gold a minute and just walk away. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we see, just because if you put it in a town center, it's going to be functional for 10 minutes of the game, and then that's it. Loses its function after that. All right, let's move on. Castle of the Crow Landmark. Treasure caravans, rather, fixed an issue where the treasure caravans were awarding too few resources on each trade trip when converting between land and sea trader. Cool. Treasure caravans no longer get stuck trying to embark or disembark when they reach the shore. Cool. Taganashima Gunsmith. Oh no. Starting stockpile reduced from 5 to 2. Okay. Ozutsu. Melee armor reduced from 4 to 0. Base damage reduced from 35 to 28. That's a big nerf there. Because you got to remember that armor, their projectile is affected by armor. So if you're up against a unit that's got 10 armor, you're going from 25 damage to 18 damage. And so that's a pretty significant damage reduction right there. But remember that Ozutsu does get a bonus damage increase from the Bannerman. They also get access to chemistry to buff that up. So to be honest, their power comes from the AoE, and they didn't actually nerf their damage for buildings or their range or their health. I think Ozutsu's still broken, bro. I think Ozutsu's still going to be really good. For melee armor, if it was 4 ranged armor, or if it was 4 ranged armor to 0, I'd be crying. But the melee armor, go for it, bro. I don't care. That's fine. If they're getting smacked up by melee units, like, they're gonna die anyway. That's the way I'm thinking about it. That's absolutely fine. Corrected issue where garrison arrows from Japanese town centers had more range than intended. Good fix. On the secondary town center, they had an 8 range instead of a 6 range. So now those Japanese players, those pesky Japanese players, they're going to be suffering the consequences of going 2TC a little bit more now. Samurai Bannerman. Corrected an issue where a dropped banner aura would stack with Uma Bannerman auras. And torches no longer receive damage increases on the UI from Katana Bannerman and Uma Bannerman. Okay. Honor Geisha no longer lose access to field construct siege towers when using mixed selection with other infantry. That's a weird bug. Honor Geisha can now garrison into transports. Thank you. And flip the samurai icon in the barracks to better distinguish it visually from the Honor Geisha icon next to it in the UI. Thank you. I never actually pointed that out, but I definitely realized it internally. I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, these two, I gotta hover over it to see which one it is. And that's obviously not something that we want. So flipping it definitely makes a lot of sense. Okay, so overall for the Japanese, if I'm a Japanese mate, and I am, but I'm not really. I've been playing the Juicy Legacy a fair bit lately. I'm not too sad about the Kuru Storehouse changes. I think these are fair, justified almost. Floating Gate Landmark, I am upset. I'm disappointed. I'm sad because you've taken what was the most overpowered landmark in the game and you've ruined it, and that's okay. But honestly, I feel like you probably just could have. What was wrong with just going, the floating gate landmark just caps at 4 Yorishiro. I don't know why we had to do all of this as well in the background. I mean, Yorishiro are going to come out faster, though. Before it was 4 minutes. I don't know where they got this 3 minutes, but I know they're talking about the Shinto priest. But it was 4 minutes for a Yorishiro, now it's down to 2 minutes. So it means within 8 minutes, you're going to be going to 300 gold a minute. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then the Taganashima Gunsmith. I mean, this is going to discourage fast Imperial strategies. That's the big thing to note. is because I often talked about it. You got that rebate because your starting stockpiles were 5, so you could just immediately get Ozutsu out. And it was quite a big power spike going to Imperial there. But that's not going to happen here anymore. So I don't think the nerf really is to this as much as, you know, even though that's a lot, it's rather to this. This is quite a bit of a spike. So overall, I think I'd be happy. I think the Japanese changes are where they should be. Let's move on. Malians. Malian cattle food per minute generation in ranches reduced from 28 to 25. Good change. Will it be enough? That's going to be a question that we have to wait and see. I mean, they do have a lot of percentage bonuses, so if that's affecting the base rate, which it is, that is a good change. Ottomans. Great Bombard population increase from 3 to 4. Oh, take that, Ottoman bots. Oh, I haven't seen them in a while, by the way. You know those bots that used to post on every single thing that we do? And they'd be like, Drongo, this is an embarrassment to the empire that once called themselves Ottomans. You should be ashamed for not calling out the developers. They haven't been posting much anymore, but they're going to be posting a lot after this, I can tell you that much. Wow. Okay, variant civ changes. Oh, well, look at that. They've got civilizations, and then they've got variant civilizations. Okay. All right, let's check it out. Ayyubids, come on. Okay, I'm expecting big nerfs. I'm expecting a massive nerf to the Trade Wing Bazaar. I'm expecting that we're going to absolutely nerf into the ground the villager one. I wouldn't be surprised if they took that from like 2 villagers down to 1 villager. Let's have a look and see what they've got. Ayyubid, House of Wisdom. Age up time increased from 105 seconds to 100. Okay, that's a big nerf. Military wing and reinforcements. Removed initial delay on training desert raiders. Okay, so it's a nice little buff. Fixed an issue on Xbox where field siege units could not be constructed by cavalry after building the military wing reinforcements. Trade Wing Bazaar. Gold cost of each trade increased. Oh my lord, that's a huge increase. 25. 125 to 150. This is massive. Because the first one's 25. The second one's 50. The third one's 75. The fourth one is 100. That is noticeable. That's a good change. Castle and Imperial. Okay, that's good. Resource trade values increased. Feudal from 225. Okay, so they've upped those up. Villager trade option removed. Oh, get out. Get wrecked. Absolutely what you deserve, Ayyubid mains. 58.6% win rate. Get the out. Oh my lord. Finally. Thank you. And can I just say, finally, I just said then finally, man, this patch couldn't come fast enough. I don't know about you guys, but I've just been screaming on the ladder recently. I've been like, just nerf them, please, Relic. Stop at the pain. Okay, anyway. Number of available options per trade cycle reduced from 5 to 4. Oh, get nerfed even more. Oh, I'm loving it. Trade Wing Bazaar. More like Trade Wing Funeral. Yeah. Culture Wing Logistics. Reduced improved healing from 50 to 30%. Passive mass heal granted by the Imperial Age Wing properly benefits from the 30% improved healing. Dervish HP reduced from 155 to 120, so massive nerfs right there to their religious unit. I'll be honest, I haven't really noticed it, but if they're nerfing it, I mean, they nerfed my Byzantines. I don't know if I can justify. I used to trust them. I used to say just trust in the process, but now. I don't know. I don't know, man. I trusted in the process. Look where we are. Look at the Byzantines. To have the Sultan build. To have the Sultan build time reduced from 240 to 200 seconds. Nice little buff for him there. Infantry support technology improved from 2+2 to 3+3. How is a civ with 58.6% win rate getting more buffs than my civilization with 40% win rate? Explain that. How can you believe in God if you believe that this is happening in the world right now? That's a joke, guys. It's a joke. Calm down. Calm down. Tier 4 Golden Age now properly decreases the cost of siege built in the field. Before it didn't. It only affected the siege from the siege workshops. All right, Jeanne d'Arc, here we go. Sorry. Jeanne d'Arc. I'm not doing that every single time. I saw the Reddit post. I saw people say, just tell them. It's like, no. I've been saying Joan of Arc for 27 years, mate. I'm not going to start saying Jeanne d'Arc every time you want me to. Sit down. All right. Joan of Arc. Joan. Experience gained from killing boars reduced from 50 to 25. Okay. All right. This is good. This is good because we're seeing a nerf on multiple fronts. It's going to nerf her in team games because one of the big things about Joan in team games is making sure you deny boar from your enemies, but also kill your own or kill the boars quickly. So that's good. And also in 1v1s. This basically means she goes from 100 experience down to 50. So that's a nice little change. John Champions. Armor reduced from 4. But you know what? We're doing the whole thing in French accent. Nah, I can't. Nah, I have to. Jean Champion armor reduced from 4-4 to 3-3. This is a good change. I like this change. This change is good because John Champion very strong. Now, it's a little bit of Borat in there. It's like if Borat went French. Anyway, Red Palace landmark reduced. Hold on, I got a cough. Give me a second here. Sorry, I am still sick and I'm waking up. And I've got my juice right here next to me. Give me a second here. All right, reduced damage of bonus emplacements on keeps and towers, town centers, from 60 to 40. Good. This is a good change. Keeps them in line with their base civ. Bonus emplacement range reduced from 10 to 9.5. Wonderful. Guildhall landmark stone regen, 50% to match French. Joan of Arc Honorable Heart tooltip changed to reflect actual behavior. Reduced the starting experience of Joan of Arc on Empire Wars. Corrected an issue where French... Bro. This civilization has 58% win rate. You reduce the time it takes for Joan to hit level 3 by 50 experience. And you nerf the armor by 1. And you think this is okay? Are you... What are you guys on? Really? Who is okaying this? Do you not see the stats? Do you not see the statistics? This civilization is absolutely broken. How are we still here? This is basic level stuff. You could have done so much with it. You could have said, okay, Joan of Arc no longer gets 50% range armor reduction, or range damage reduction, upon reaching level 3. This has been completely removed. Wonderful. Her health has been slightly increased to allow for this. Sure, great change. Joan Champions. Joan Champions start with feudal age statistics, but are automatically upgraded once she reaches castle age. Oh, there you go. Another great change. Now, where is it? This is not okay. Order of the Dragon, dude. The shittiest, most boring civ. Watch this. It's gonna get... It literally gets 3 things. Look at this. Starting wood increase from 150 to... Golden Cure. Oh, God, what a joke. All right. Oh, why are we here? What are we doing with our lives? Somebody help me. Golden Cuirass technology damage reduction now activates at 30% health, up from 20%. Okay, good change. Corrected an issue where weapon range of gilded archers would be reduced after researching incendiary arrows. Okay, good change. This civilization, I think, has like 46% win rate. Okay. Bro, I don't even want to read Juicy Legacy. Wait, what's the win rate for Juicy Legacy? I think about 53, 54% at the moment, which is pretty high. So I'm expecting they're going to buff Meditation Gardens. They're probably going to increase the range of Huguenots. And they're probably going to make Shaolin monks free. Let's watch. Shaolin Monastery landmark. Shaolin monks. Shaolin monks and monks are no longer selected together with double clicking. Shaolin monk ranged armor reduced from 2 to 0. Shaolin monks now display a buff indicator when activating the Body of Iron ability. Yeah, I think these are good changes. These are about what you'd expect. I mean, when the Shaolin monks came out of the box, everybody was like, oh, these guys are overpowered. The board build's crazy. But it's fallen off a little bit. We've seen people work out how to play around it. I mean, you just got to wall in the relics. It's not that hard. You wall the relics and then you laugh at them as they try and take them. Technologies at them. And another thing to note is with the armor reduction from 2 to 0, this basically means you can just open archers against them. And if they go spears, then you're fine. And if they go into lances, well, then you got a real problem, don't you? Technologies at the Montlou Academy landmark are now properly marked as unique to civilization. Cool. Juicy's Library Landmark. Imperial. Oh, they're nerfing the Imperial Guard. Okay. Damage reduced from 35 to 28. Health decrease from 350 to 340. Melee armor increased from 6 to 10, but ranged armor is reduced from 6 to 3. So the big thing here is the damage. The damage has gone from 35 to 28, which is a 20% reduction. That seems like a lot. But I guess you've got things that counter this, right? Like, by the way, I'm sorry, I've got a baby screaming just outside my door. I don't know where that baby is, but I'm hoping his mother is going to be very, very quick to respond. So it's a bit hard for me to focus. Sorry. He stopped now. Mum's there. All right. Get with it, Drongo. This is a pretty significant nerf. This will take them from being the best late game cavalry unit to being just a good cavalry unit. Obviously not as much damage as they had before. Still crazy amounts of health though, and you got to remember that stacks with biology. So this unit's... we'll have to wait and see what the numbers are going to be, but I'm confident this unit is going to absolutely just destroy. Still. Fixed an issue where Lancers and Imperial Guards would both be selected when double-clicking on either unit. I feel like that's fine. Doesn't really need to be changed. Is that really all... Dude, that's literally all Juicy's Legacy got? Wow. Wow. Alright, a little bit of a skip in the video. You may have noticed it. The little man was absolutely screaming his guts out, and I couldn't continue recording, so I had to go help out Mum, because she was having a bit of trouble. But we've gone through now. Overall, if we take a look at this, I mean, Shaolin... or Juicy's Legacy just obviously just didn't get nerfed where it needed to. That is for sure. No changes to the meditation gardens. Still going to see insane meditation gardens there. Order of the Dragon, laughable buff. But, I mean, kind of on par. Joan. Ayyubids, good. And then, I mean, Japanese. The Japanese changes, I think overall Japanese changes were pretty good. I mean, the Floating Gate Landmark, it's still going to feel a little bit sour going from what we had to this. But I think that was probably needed anyway, because it was... You did have infinite gold in the late game, and it didn't cost you any population, so that was kind of nice. And then finally, the Byzantines. I mean, this was just... This is an alternate universe. Anyway, let's go back up to the top and take a look at the rest of the build. So we've got the build spotlight. So stability fixes, map adjustments. Our most recent major update introduced 3 new maps, while expansion added additional 10. Several balance changes and bug fixes have been made to these, and existing maps are detailed in map sections further on. Hopefully they fixed up sheep spawns, because sheep spawns have been terrible. I don't know about you guys, but I've just been noticing there are some games... I mentioned it in another video. I literally got 1 sheep. 1 sheep. That was it. I got a single sheep to my name. That was it. Localization and balance changes. Okay, so AI updates in our gameplay. So fixed issue that prevented AI armies from merging with reinforcements. The AI now forms bigger armies. Juicy Legacy AI players will now take advantage of their abilities provided by the Temple of the Sun. AI player scouts will no longer drop off sheep off at docks on naval maps. And AI no longer uses half its army as Trebuchet hype team that idly watches the Trebuchet tries its hardest to hit a moving target. I'm so glad I read the AI updates. That's so funny. AI now only uses a handful of units to guard its siege, and the rest of the army continues to fight. That is so funny. Art of War, fixed a Fatal Scar error. Campaign, fixed a crash. Fixed a crash. Fixed a Fatal Scar error. Fixed an error that could occur. And fixed a rare error. There you go. Some errors getting fixed. Quick match. Fixed an issue which prevented players from joining the quick match queue due to their map downvote selections resetting when too many maps were selected. And UX, UI, and menus. Hello. Fixed inconsistent codex naming conventions for new and variant civs. Fixed a number of inaccurate localizations in Chinese languages. What, it didn't get juicy correctly? Come on. It means juicy. Fixed several localizations in Spanish that cut off at the first mathematical symbol, and the player's scoreboard now displays... Oh my god, how do you not put this one on the front of the box? The player's scoreboard now displays the player's civilization flag? Wow, we've been asking for this for years. I didn't think the technology was there, not in 2023. I thought maybe 2024 we'll get it, when, you know, when we've got next level computing, you know, maybe there's a breakthrough in that quantum stuff, that's when we'll get it, but they've managed to do it on the current tech. Impressive. General map changes. Fixed crash. Fixed a rare issue when neutral large gold deposits would spawn next to the player's base on small-sized dry Rebia and forts maps. There you go. Map-specific changes. African waters, don't play it. Archipelago, don't play it. Baltic, don't play it. Boulder Bay, don't play it. Canal, don't play it. Glade, don't play it. Golden Pit. Fixed a rare issue on Golden Pit where large gold deposits were not spawning inside the pit. Removed neutral trade posts from Golden Pit and repositioned sacred sites to the outskirts of the pit. Wait, you removed the trade posts? Okay, fair enough. I mean, that's the type of game you want on Golden Pit. I guess that's the kind of game you're going to get. Rocky River. On Rocky River, 5 berry spawns per player in a more contested and balanced way, and 2 fish spawn per pond instead of 4. There you go. And thickets, don't play it. Balance and bug fixes. We've already been through it. That's going to be it. What is on the horizon? What's ongoing? Let's go find out. Known issues. Community reported issues. Your reports continue being crucial. Please keep them coming. What's on the horizon? Late January, early February patch. Planning our next minor patch to release in early 2024 with a target of late January or early February. And a disclaimer. There you go. That's it. Okay. Happiness with this patch, not very high. Not very high. I mean, there's some big things in this patch. Like the fact that we now have flags showing up in the player names on the scoreboard. That's massive. But, you know, less important things like Jeanne d'Arc not getting nerfed into the ground. I don't know, man. I don't know about you guys, but I've noticed every single matchmaking game I play, every ranked game I play, there's one thing in common. Starts with Joan and ends in Dark as my enemy. And then, of course, the Byzantines. I mean, we're just going to have to... If we don't laugh, we cry about the Byzantines. How sad. How absolutely sad for the Byzantines. What were they thinking? We'll never know. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. What do you guys reckon? How did it go? I'll be honest. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. But who knows? We'll work with what we got. I guess I'm a juicy main for another couple of weeks, or a Japanese main for another couple of weeks until the next Byzantine buff comes, which will probably be starting stone increase from 100 to 120. This is to help the Byzantines with their first cistern. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Steps. Thank you. Thank you so much.